The Miss Grand International 2019 pageant is scheduled to take place in Caracas, Venezuela, starting on October 9th and the finals on October 25th. Many pageant fans are calling to have the pageant cancelled because of the seriously unstable political and economic crisis in the country that is causing crimes like robbery, kidnapping, trafficking, acts of violence, and rape. Even several Venezuelan beauty queens have fallen victims to these crimes. Remember Marena Bencomo, Miss Venezuela in 1996 and first runner-up at Miss Universe 1997? On July 15, 2000, Marena's husband, Richard Bolton, was kidnapped by Colombian paramilitaries while on his farm. After negotiations, he was released in July 2002 in Colombia. In December 2003, Miss Venezuela 1997 Veruska Ramirez, first runner-up at Miss Universe 1998, was robbed of a large foreign currency and personal belongings and then kidnapped for 3 hours. The police report went on to say that the thieves saw a box in her car containing 15 calendars containing nude pictures of Ramirez. They asked her to autograph the calendars and made off with them, leaving her on a city street. End of quote. On January 6, 2014, Monica Spear, Miss Venezuela 2004 and fourth runner-up at Miss Universe 2005, and her ex-husband Thomas Henry Berry were shot to death by a gang of criminals, and their daughter Maya also shot and wounded in the leg after their car had broken down on a highway. It has been theorized that thieves tried to rob them and the couple resisted. What used to be one of the wealthiest countries in the Western Hemisphere has turned into one of the most dangerous countries in the world due to its high crime and homicide rate, third only to Afghanistan and South Sudan. 3 million Venezuelans have fled violence, hyperinflation, and shortages of basic goods, most since 2015, according to the United Nations. What has been reported by the mainstream media about the current situation in Venezuela has also been confirmed by travel vlogger Nick from New Zealand, who runs a YouTube channel called The Indigo Traveler. Nick spent 2 weeks traveling around in Venezuela and interviewing Venezuelans what they think about the crisis, and virtually all of them said that the country is a disaster area. Some even say that the country is hell on earth. Just reading some of the mixed comments on his vlogs, one will get the impression that some places are more dangerous or safer than others.
Either tomorrow or the next day we are going up the coast. We're leaving Caracas. It'll be nice to get out into the countryside, but apparently the situation's even worse out in the countryside because they try to keep people reasonably happy in the city to stop more uprisings. So it might be quite desperate in areas, but it'll be interesting to see the nature.
Here is a comment that more or less reflects the current crisis in the country. Try to visit another state like Trujillo, Zulia, Táchira, and see how the situation is 3 times worse than the one you see in the north part of the country. 3-day lines to fill your gas tank. People eating from the trash. Constant 5+ hours electrical cuts every day. The most empty supermarkets you are going to see in your life. People with their clothes all ragged because they have no money to buy more. Possibly that would make you feel more depressed about the situation here. You haven't seen 5% of the reality yet. Here are other comments. I'm Venezuelan and I wouldn't walk around with a camera like that. Caracas has the second highest murder rate than any city in the world. In Caracas, the situation is good, but in Zulia, the crisis is apocalyptic. I'm from Venezuela, and I'm like, what the F are you doing here? I can't even go there to see my family.
In Venezuela, even criminals have been hit by the economic crisis. These men based in the suburbs of the capital specialize in kidnapping and ransom demands. For them, hostages are just another marketable commodity.
I completely agree. I used to live in Maracaibo and it was so scary I couldn't even walk. I never walked on the sidewalk. Next time, go to another city in Venezuela. Caracas is good compared with the 90% of the country. They are speaking English at the subway. I'm from Caracas, and doing that is really dangerous because gangsters will know that you are a tourist and will try to steal something from you.
Poverty has led them to a life of crime.
I do this to feed my kids. That's how it started. I used to have a job, but I got sick. My mum got sick too, and she couldn't afford medicine. He's got young kids, and he needs money to afford diapers.
A pack of diapers can cost between $4 and $7. And for that, you get about 20 diapers. You can't afford that on a minimum wage. So you have to steal.
Only place that's safe is inside your house, really. It's amazing no one stole your camera. I live in Caracas and we are not as bad as Maracaibo. Venezuela, the country that has earned the reputation of being the most successful country in international pageantry, is hosting its first biggest international pageant in October, Miss Grand International 2019, thanks to the pageant owner, the exuberant, ostentatious, and colorful Nawat Itsaragrisil, who believes that bringing the pageant to Venezuela will cheer up millions of starving Venezuelans and give them a temporary respite from their daily miserable existence. To some pageant fans like myself, bringing a group of young foreign women, many of whom perhaps come from sheltered backgrounds and have never experienced crime or chaos outside their safe zones, is rather naive, impetuous, or simply foolish. There isn't a day that goes by when Venezuela does not make the news. It is always in the news. And if it's always in the news, that usually means the news is bad. Thus, it is understandable that a handful of countries have decided to withdraw their candidates from the contest. Initially, France withdrew, but I heard that Nawat dropped the French national director for refusing to send a French candidate, and then replaced this director with a new one who handpicked a French girl to be sent to the pageant. The delegate from New Zealand, Emma May Gribbs, posted on her Instagram account on July 21st that, per the advice of her managers and family, she has decided not to compete at Miss Grand International due to the safety warnings in regards to Caracas. She will compete instead in Miss Tourism International 2019 to be held in Malaysia in December. The delegates from England, Scotland, and Wales have also withdrawn as advised by the national director, and recently Denmark announced that it will not send its representative either. Out of the 70-plus countries that were expected to participate, so far only 53 have confirmed their participation, according to Wikipedia. But of course, anyone can edit Wikipedia, including Nawat himself, so let's not pretend that everything you read in that site is 100% accurate. Now, about the United States, I did ask Miss Grand United States, Emily Irene Delgado, if she's going, but she kept ignoring me. I'm not even sure if she's aware that the entire staff of the US Embassy in Venezuela has been pulled out last March. And since the dictator Nicolas Maduro hates the USA and still controls much of Venezuela, I'm not quite sure if Delgado will be allowed to enter Venezuela. Nevertheless, the United States State Department issued a travel advisory warning Americans not to travel to Venezuela due to crime, civil unrest, poor health infrastructure, kidnapping, and arbitrary arrest and detention of U.S. citizens. So with all the chaos, misery, and violence happening in Venezuela, and we don't expect it to end anytime soon, should Miss Grand International 2019 pageant be canceled? To rational and sensible people who believe that their safety comes first, the answer would be yes. If you know that a place is dangerous based on what the media is reporting and what the locals are saying, then why risk going to that place where you may never come out alive? Some pageant fans have asked why, of all places, did Nawat choose to bring the pageant to a country that is in total chaos? The answer is simple. He really believes that beautiful young women with big hair and fancy clothes will bring immeasurable joy to poverty-stricken Venezuelans, even only for 2.5 weeks. When Nawat held a press conference in Caracas last July 25th, he stated that the goal of the pageant is to bring peace and happiness back in this hard time. He also made several claims, including the following. The finals will be held at the Poliedro de Caracas, which has a maximum capacity of 20,000 seats. The contestants will be lodged at the 5-star hotel Tamanaco Intercontinental Caracas, even though the average current rating is 3 out of 5 stars, according to Trip Advisory. In case of a blackout or electrical problem in the area, there will be power plants to generate electric power, and that Nawat will bring state-of-the-art technology from Thailand to fix the problem. The pageant will not cost Venezuela anything, and that all expenses from the pageant will be paid by the Miss Grand International organization. The ticket for the final night is free. All contestants will have a life insurance contract and have bodyguards to protect them 24/7. And last but not least, the winner will travel to more than 15 countries, not only to crown new queens from each country, but also engage in charitable activities related to the campaign, Stop the War and Violence. So the only reason I can think of as to why the pageant should not be canceled is because Nawat has already made promises to Venezuela that he could not afford to break, because he knows that if he breaks those promises, then his reputation as a savior and humanitarian will be shattered and his pageant will be grandly discredited. Now, to those original contestants who are brave enough to remain in the competition, good for you. But please, just make sure to take extra safety precautions from the moment you arrive in Venezuela until the moment you depart. Check the description box below for safety tips. Buena suerte, bonne chance, and good luck. Mwah! Do you think Miss Grand International 2019 pageant should be canceled because of the current crisis in Venezuela? Or do you think that the pageant should go ahead as scheduled and that it's up to the contestants to participate or not? Comment below. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, like, and share. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell below to receive instant notification for the next video. Until the next time, bye!